I started to kind of observe towards the end of my honours, the beginning of my PhD, that there was just this really interesting phenomena happening in a lot of texts produced for girls, where there's this kind of illusion of feminism. So I wanted to kind of explore that further. So my PhD was called Post-Feminist Identities in Fairy Tale Adaptations for Young People. I felt that it gave me this nice little narrow focus for a project of 3 years where I could, kind of go, okay, what's happening? What is this thing that I'm noticing? What can I say about it? PhD or research isn't just in the STEM fields. So you can do a PhD in creative writing, you can do a PhD in literary studies, you can do a PhD in gender studies, and you absolutely can and should. The standout reason that I chose Deakin for my PhD was because we're one of the only universities in the country that has a major in children's literature, which is my disciplinary area. I finished my honours and had a great great support team around me here at Deakin, and they were really encouraging of me to do my PhD. I really can't speak highly enough of my supervision team or how important the supervision relationship is, and absolutely the reason why I got over the line at the end. Being a part-time student meant that I was able to work as a casual academic on the side, where I began my teaching career at a university level, and that to me was so beneficial alongside my PhD, because I was actually really putting into practice a lot of the things that I was doing within my own research. Deakin really encourages its HDR students to attend conferences. We're encouraged generally to go to one a year, whether that is domestic or international. One conference that I went to in Europe led me to get a fellowship in Canada, just purely from those networking opportunities, being in that kind of space, meeting people, expressing my interests. So, it's definitely a highlight of my candidature. One of the most supportive things that Deakin does for its HDR students is provides us with a space to work. And that also then meant that you were in a space with a number of other HDR students. So that kind of sense of community was able to come through because you're working in a space where other people are going through the exact same thing as you. Some of the key advice that I was given in the final parts of my PhD was to start thinking about the next thing that I was going to do. And the goal for me really was to turn my PhD into a book. Was actually contacted by a publisher in my field. So I submitted a proposal based off my PhD, and that book should be coming out in 2022. The PhD is more than just getting the doctorate or submitting the thesis. Of course, it's the majority of what you do during that time, but for me, I think it was a deeply personal and deeply rewarding experience in every possible way. So it's absolutely great to get the doctor at the front of your name, but it's also more than just the thesis that you're writing.